A famous singer and social media personality was shot 8 times in a deadly revenge attack right in front of her own house. But somehow, against all odds, she survived to tell the world exactly who pulled the trigger and why they wanted her silenced forever. This is the tragic story of Lolita Kalinda, who is better known to her tens of thousands of fans as Lola Doll.
Hype, right? When you want hype. When you want hype. Nothing more than 24 hours. We in Guyana gotta wrap this shit up. Wrap it sound up like Stepman, not a f***ing Cheer the kingdom. Wrap shit up fast. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. 12 o'clock. If she don't drop, she drop by 12. She lose the war.
The date was September 6th, and for Lola Doll, it was supposed to be just another evening. The Guyanese social media personality, singer, and makeup artist had built a loyal following over a decade of controversial, unfiltered content. She was known for being loud, brash, and utterly fearless in calling out anyone who crossed her. She'd built an entire career on being untouchable, on speaking her mind without consequence. But on this particular night, sitting in her car directly in front of her East Ronvelt home, Lola Doll would discover just how wrong she was about that assumption. Because someone had been waiting for her, someone with a loaded weapon and deadly intent. Someone who had clearly decided that Lola Doll's voice had been heard for far too long. The attack itself was nothing short of execution style. Lola was struck 8 times, her hands, her back, her legs. One particularly devastating round entered through her neck and exited through her jaw. The only thing that stood between Lola Doll and certain death was a car window.
If I didn't wind up that window and I left the window down, I would have dead. Because he would have get a clear shot to me. He would have gotten a clear shot and I would have dead. The first bullet would have killed me because the gun would have go inside the mirror. He would have pined the gun inside the car. You understand? But the fact that I wind up the window, you have to bust the window to get to me.
That's right, a simple piece of glass that she had rolled up just moments before the assault began. Had that window been down, the attacker would have had a clear, unobstructed path to deliver what would have almost certainly been a fatal shot directly into her vehicle. But even with that barrier, the assailant was determined. He shattered the glass and continued firing, round after round after round, each one finding its mark on Lola's body as she sat helpless and trapped inside her own car.
Stand up, it would save me, make the bullet in reach no way that could have killed me. So what happened was when he started pelting shots, now I felt the 4 shots. The 4 shot I felt. I raised up my hand. I wasn't unconscious. The first shot, I shield with my hand. The hand that I shield my face with, pick up 3 bullets.
That single hand absorbed 3 separate rounds, each one tearing through flesh, muscle, and bone with devastating force. The damage was catastrophic and immediate. Her entire arm was fractured in multiple places, bones shattered into fragments that would require extensive surgical intervention to even attempt to repair.
Right now, my whole arm fracture, my bones then break up. The bones break up, everything break.
The injuries were so severe that surgeons had to insert steel hardware into her arm just to hold the broken pieces of her skeleton together. But even with permanent metal implants now residing inside her body, even with multiple entry and exit wounds scattered across her hands, back, and legs, Lola Doll considered herself extraordinarily fortunate. Because while her body had been torn apart by the barrage, her face, the face that had launched 1,000 controversial social media posts, the face that her fans knew and loved, remained largely untouched.
in my hand right now, still. One of the bullets go through my neck and exit through my chin. So I got a graze by my chin, it's not nothing big. My face still look like Lola doll. So yeah, don't worry, I look the same way. Nothing happened.
Even in the midst of recounting this horrific near-death experience from her hospital bed, surrounded by medical equipment and nursing staff, Lola maintained the same bold, defiant personality that had made her famous in the first place. She reassured her followers that she would still look the same when she recovered, that the bullets hadn't stolen her identity along with her sense of security. But beneath that bravado, beneath that characteristic Lola doll swagger and confidence, there was something else now: fear. The mother of 4, still hospitalized and recovering from her injuries, took to Facebook Live to speak directly to her community. The live stream attracted more than 10,000 listeners, all desperate to hear from the woman who had somehow survived what should have been a fatal assault. And what they heard was chilling.
I am afraid for my life, and I'm afraid for my children's life. Right now, me even sending me children to school no more. Me even sending them to school no more. They ain't going to school. They ain't going nowhere. They're gonna die with me.
But here's where this story takes an even darker, more disturbing turn, because the suspect that Lola accused of attempting to take her life, he walked into a police station with his attorney by his side and walked right back out again. In fact, the suspect that Lola doll accused wasn't just some unknown criminal with a grudge. He was part of a deeply troubling web of criminal allegations that should make anyone question exactly how someone with this kind of background could be released so quickly after being accused of such a vicious attack. The suspect was among several men who had been arrested by police in connection with the kidnapping of Lodge resident Joshua David the previous year. And this wasn't some minor incident that could be brushed aside or explained away. This young man was literally snatched off Main Street, forced into a vehicle just after leaving a new thriving restaurant in broad daylight. And what happened with that case? The police have yet to make a breakthrough. The suspect in Lola's case was among 3 persons arrested in connection with that kidnapping. All 3 have since been released on station bail, free to walk the streets while their alleged victims live in fear, and the cases against them apparently go nowhere. Among them was city businessman Paul Du Bois Jr. And here's where this story veers into territory that sounds almost too outrageous to be true. Paul Du Bois Jr. was sanctioned by the United States government for drug trafficking. Police confirmed that Paul Du Bois Jr., also known as Randall, was held in connection with the attempted elimination of Kalinda. He was released on $1 million station bail with strict reporting conditions after the mandatory 72-hour detention period expired. Strict reporting conditions, as if checking in with police periodically is somehow adequate supervision for someone accused of involvement in an attempted elimination, someone with documented ties to international drug trafficking operations. But Lola wasn't going to stay silent. She couldn't. It wasn't in her nature, and more importantly, she believed that silence would only make her more vulnerable. So she did what she does best. She went live on social media, and she named names.
The person that tried to kill me is a guy by the name of Wani. Wani, I don't know if y'all know he is the shooter. He was the person. I watched him in the eyes. I watched him.
From the confines of her hospital bed at Georgetown Public Hospital, Lola identified her attacker as a man named Wani, describing him as a known individual with a reputation for violence. But identifying her alleged attacker was only part of what Lola revealed during her emotional social media broadcasts from the hospital. She also wanted people to understand exactly how she'd ended up in this situation in the first place, and why she believed someone had put out what she called a hit on her life.
Phone, I'm gonna embarrass you. Don't come phone. I ain't feeling for talk to nobody today. Cause y'all must count this way today upon life, then y'all ring.
The context began to emerge through multiple live streams and social media posts. Lola had been involved in ongoing feuds with other individuals, conflicts that had played out publicly across social media platforms for months or even years. Her entire brand was built on being controversial, on calling people out, on engaging in verbal battles that drew thousands of viewers and kept her name trending.
Me want nobody tell me stop. Cause when people want to kill me, when you put their money for me head and you want to kill me fans them gotta know it's a public figure.
Lola claimed that someone had literally put money on her head, that there was a financial incentive for someone to eliminate her, and that this was why she needed to make everything public. If something happened to her, if she disappeared or was found deceased, her fans would know it wasn't an accident.
Cause they're not gonna come and play y'all doing nothing. Y'all not come play y'all doing nothing to me and it go unsolved. Me fans them got to know. Even though me father didn't want to come live, none of me family members them wanted me to come live. I gotta let me fans know what is going on. I got to let y'all know.
Lola felt she had no choice.
Cause we living in a country where you don't get justice.
And then she did something remarkable. She directly challenged the people she believed were responsible, calling them out by characterization, if not always by name, daring them to face consequences for their actions.
All the big boys, them who want to play big boys and popping bottles in the f***ing club, come to the front of the f***ing class, cause you're not bad man for f***ing me. Guyana Police Force, come downstairs. Your very own celebrity is calling y'all out today.
Lola specifically called out the Guyanese police force, making it clear that she knew they were watching her live streams, that they were aware of her accusations, and that she expected them to take action. She wasn't going to let this be quietly ignored or filed away as just another unsolved case. But to fully understand why someone would want Lola Doll silenced, we need to look at who she was before the attack, the persona she had cultivated over a decade of social media presence, and the conflicts that had been escalating in the days and weeks leading up to September 6th.
Who know me? Know I's a girl? I always been controversial. For the past 10 years I've been on the internet. For the past 10 years I'm not a stranger to social media, period. Everybody know me. 10 years.
Lola Doll had spent an entire decade building her brand online, establishing herself as someone who would never back down from a confrontation, never apologize for speaking her mind, and never let anyone disrespect her without consequence.
Knowing me for this 10 years, I've always been striving, fighting for make a living. Always trying to enlighten people around me.
But Lola didn't see herself just as a troublemaker or a provocateur. She viewed her work as empowerment, as teaching and encouraging her followers, particularly in areas like makeup and beauty, where she had genuine expertise. She positioned herself as someone who lifted others up, who showed them how to improve themselves and build confidence.
Fans, whoever like me, I always teach them, show them how to, make yourself pretty, encouragement, everything. I am that person.
Of course, she also acknowledged that she had another side to her personality. Lola admitted that when people crossed her, when someone disrespected or challenged her, she would engage in verbal warfare without hesitation.
I have a side where when people get me vexed, I come and I cause them who is good 2 for 2. There's it.
But what had been happening in the weeks leading up to the attack was different. Lola stated that the conflict had escalated beyond typical social media drama, beyond simple back-and-forth arguments and verbal sparring.
This problem is beyond Facebook now. This is beyond back and forth, cuss out, and use this and use that, use big fear and this and that, this and that. No, it's deeper than a cuss out. It reached to bigger level now.
What had changed? According to Lola's perspective on the situation, men had become emotionally involved in conflicts that were happening between women. She suggested that certain men were catching feelings over women she had verbal altercations with, and that these men had decided to escalate the situation to physical violence because they couldn't handle the truth of what she was saying about them.
Where man getting feelings for the woman, man, the men them. They catching feelings for the women them, who troubling me, and because I cuss them, and the feeling bad about the truth that I cussing them with, they want to jump out for the woman.
And there's evidence that Lola may have sensed something was coming. The day before she was attacked, she was engaged in yet another heated online conflict, this time involving music and accusations about other artists. Her Instagram Live from that night showed her in her typical form, aggressive, confrontational, challenging others to step up and face her directly.
Really live. Really live. This big star from yesterday, right? Me song done. Me song done. Why the whole can't release she song yet? Tell me. Why she can't release she song yet? Cause me on done.
She was taunting someone, challenging them to release their music before a midnight deadline, claiming superiority over their artistic abilities, and doing so with a kind of aggressive confidence that had made her both beloved and hated in equal measure across social media platforms.
Come downstairs, 12 o'clock. Don't make 12 o'clock pass, you know. Cause if 12 o'clock pass, no artist.
The live stream showed Lola in her element, surrounded by people working on her music, confidently asserting her dominance in whatever ongoing feud she was engaged in at that moment. But less than 24 hours later, she would be fighting for her life in front of her own home, 8 bullets tearing through her body. Looking back at that final Instagram Live before the attack, knowing what would happen the next day, there's an eerie quality to her words and her confidence. She was challenging people, calling them out, daring them to come for her, and someone apparently took that challenge seriously. Now, weeks after the attack, Lola remains hospitalized and fearful. She's recovering from injuries that will leave her permanently changed, with steel hardware in her arm and psychological scars that may never fully heal. Do you think Lola Doll brought this on herself, or that she has these people after her life pressed? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.